The Barbie movie, a record-breaking billion-dollar film starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, directed by Greta Gerwig. As big as this movie has been, for some reason it just didn't stand out to me. My fiance told me that we should watch this together and I was just kind of like, As a 23-year-old white guy, I feel like I wasn't really the target demographic for this movie. However, I've seen an abundant amount of blog posts and just websites talking about how men don't get the Barbie movie and it's causing problems in relationships. So I thought, how about instead of just not watching the movie, I go and watch it 5 days in a row. Eddie Burback did this a year ago with Morbius, and I thought it was a really good video, and I kind of wanted to do the same thing. I'll leave a link to his video in the description. Of course, this movie might not torture me like Morbius would, but I just really wanted to experience and understand the movie. So I ended up messaging some of my friends and asked if they would watch a video of me doing what I'm about to do. One person in particular, my cousin, said, "Are you sure you want to spend $70 plus to do it?" And I said I would do anything for Margot Robbie. So starting the day after my work shift, I would go to the cinema and watch the Barbie movie for 5 days in a row. So for day one, me and my fiance went to see the Barbie movie together because she really wanted to see it, and I think I did too. Gonna watch Barbie. Day one, Barbie time. I want to preface that I knew absolutely nothing about this movie besides the fact that Margot Robbie plays the main character and I would do anything for Margot Robbie. While we were in the car on the way there, we actually started running a little bit late and we got very worried that we were going to miss the start of the trailers and commercials. But luckily we made it just in time to catch all of the trailers and commercials. All right. So of course I'm going to start explaining how the movie goes over the course of the next 5 days. So spoiler warning, if you haven't watched it yet, just pause this video and watch the movie and then you can come back. So the movie starts with like some fever dream. Like there's just 20 minutes of just weird shit going on. It starts off with kids just killing baby dolls. They're just mutilating the things, just smashing their heads on the ground, throwing them away and stuff like that. And all of this chaos and madness is just leading up to the introduction and creation of the Barbie doll and Barbie Land. The Barbie Land fever dream goes for like 20 minutes as well, and in between trying to get popcorn kernels out my teeth and trying to find the cup holder in my seat, Barbie was experiencing her Disney princess wake-up routine. She was saying good morning to all the other Barbies, eating her heart-shaped waffle and drinking her glass of milk, and then she just jumps off the fucking roof and dies. She splats on the pavement. It just looks like spaghetti sauce all over the concrete. It was tragic. That's not really how it ended, but who cares? Time for day two. So for day two, I was actually taking this one solo. I have never gone to the cinema to watch a movie by myself, but I wasn't going to let that deter me. So I had said goodbye to my dog, filled up my 2003 Toyota Camry, and was on my way to the cinema once again. I actually got to the cinema and realized that I'm going to watch a movie at 11 AM on a Wednesday. It made me a bit worried that I was going to be the only person in the screening, which might raise suspicion with the people working there. And my thoughts were correct. The cinema was completely empty, except for the 4 old women sitting in the very front row. I feel like if you have the entire place free, except for me sitting in the very back corner, why would you sit so far up the front? You'll fuck your neck up. And your eyes probably. But anyway, I'll talk to you again at the end of the second viewing. Everything is going wrong. Stop the presses. We're in DEFCON 1. Barbie is having a bad day. This doesn't happen to Barbie. Cold shower, burnt waffle, and her feet, they were flat. So Barbie is having a bad day because the kid who was playing with Barbie was also having a bad day. And we find that out through Weird Barbie. Anyway, Weird Barbie explains that the sadness from the child has created a tear between Barbie Land and real life. So Barbie has to go into real life to help the child and fix everything. So she needs to head to the real world with Ken, who's played by Ryan Gosling, if you didn't know that already, tagging along with her. So Barbie and Ken make it to Los Angeles, where uh-oh, Barbie's being objectified and Ken is being admired. Everything's all backwards, it's all the wrong way around. What the fuck, man? I thought women run this shit. Beyonce didn't make the song for no reason. Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? Now men run the world? Ew! You stinky. Men suck and men stinky. All's I'm saying. Anyway, Barbie does some meditation to access her third eye. Meanwhile, Ken is giving up on becoming her guy. He's red-pilled now. He's Kendrew Tate. So Barbie finds the girl that she was having visions about at a school, and she goes to help her, but to Barbie's surprise, the girl, who we learn her name is Sasha, hates her. Sasha mentions how Barbie made little girls hate themselves because of beauty standards, societal norms, as well as calling her a fascist. And I'd explain what a fascist is, but to be honest, I still don't know. I looked up fascist definition simple terms, but it still doesn't make sense to me. I got Ken brain. Anyway, Barbie is picked up from the school by Mattel and taken to the Mattel headquarters. And Ken is in a rush to get back to Barbie Land to tell all of the Kens about the powerful knowledge of patriarchy. So there's something strange about this movie, which is that they casted Will Ferrell in the movie just to play Will Ferrell. I mean, he doesn't actually play himself, he plays the CEO of Mattel, but to be honest, it's just Will Ferrell. They just put Will Ferrell in this position of power and were like, all right, go. I'm not sure why they did this, because Mattel didn't actually have to be in the movie. All that happens is that Barbie in this scene escapes the Mattel headquarters, and then you only see them like 3 more times, which is when they're following Barbie. So Barbie escapes the Mattel headquarters and gets picked up by Sasha's mum, Gloria. During their escape, Barbie actually finds out that the person she needed to help isn't Sasha, it was Gloria. Gloria has actually been the one playing with the dolls, and she's been the one who's been upset because she just hates her life at the moment. After finding this out, Barbie, Sasha, and Gloria realize they need to lay low because they're fugitives. So the 3 of them go to Barbie Land, but it's a little different to how Barbie remembers. So it's day 3, and I'm really starting to feel the effects of going to a movie theater to watch the same movie every day. It's an odd feeling, but I'm sure by day 5 I will be a new man. Once again, I drove to the cinema and got my ticket. Something that I forgot to mention as well is that I've been buying my tickets online, and so I just have to go in there and scan my ticket, except the scanner didn't work, so they had to ask me for the code, and when I tell them the code, it pops up with my name and seat, which I have been using the same name, obviously, for every single time, but I've also been sitting in the exact same seat every single time. And I'm starting to believe that the employees might know about me, because I think a guy walking into the Barbie movie by himself and sitting at the very back corner might be a topic of conversation. Either that, or I'm just a paranoid narcissist who thinks everyone is looking at me all the time. Anyway, I got a ticket and ordered a drink, and after drinking so much Pepsi and Mountain Dew, I thought it could be the perfect inspiration for my next video. I saw my dentist for 5 days in a row. Again, I'll see you after the movie. I feel like I'm going insane. I'm pretty sure the definition of insanity is watching the Barbie movie over and over again and expecting different results. So Barbie Land has been flipped all on its head. All because of Ken. Ken has taught everybody about patriarchy, and now men are running Barbie Land and women have been brainwashed into serving them. The Barbies like not having to make decisions anymore. All they do is bring beer and food to the Kens. So Barbie is absolutely distraught and blames all of it on Gloria for wishing her into the real world. Because if they didn't go, then Ken wouldn't know about patriarchy and wouldn't know how fucked up the real world is. So Gloria and Sasha are driving back to Barbie Land when Alan pops up in the back of the car. I forgot to mention Alan is a doll by Mattel who is Ken's friend. That's pretty much it. I guess they just needed a bit more male diversity, so they brought in a second boring doll. Now, Alan is played by none other than Michael Cera, which, to be honest, that's probably the greatest casting choice they've made. Margot Robbie being Barbie, understandable. Ryan Gosling being Ken, yeah, fine. But Michael Cera being like this weird character that just nobody really knew about is just perfect. Anyway, Alan doesn't want the Kens to run Barbie Land. He wants to go back to how it was, but he also just kind of wants to get the fuck out of Barbie Land in general, which is why he was in the back of the car. While they're about to leave, a bunch of Kens stop them and tell them that nobody's allowed out, and this just makes Alan snap. He just goes crazy. I have never seen Michael Cera fighting, and I didn't think I ever would, but he gave these guys the work. I never watched Scott Pilgrim, by the way. I only just found out that there was a fighting scene in Scott Pilgrim, but this was so good. Anyway, Alan just beats everyone up. I think there's like 7 guys there, and he just fucks all of them up. But while he was fighting, Sasha and Gloria in the car had agreed to go back to Barbie Land to help fix everything. And so they do. Sasha, Gloria, and Alan all are going to save Barbie Land. I suppose it's time for day 4. Why didn't I just fake the whole thing? I could have faked this whole video and it would have been way easier. This time I went and I had friends to go with. However, it was their first time watching the movie and I was quoting it line for line to make sure they really knew what was going on and they didn't miss anything. Another ticket and another viewing of the movie. So here's the plan. Gloria, Sasha, and Barbie are going to unbrainwash the other Barbies by telling them what it's really like to be a woman. It's basically going to snap the Barbies out, and now they're on some Ocean's 8 shit just to take back what's theirs. After the Barbies are all back to normal, it's now time to turn the Kens against each other, which makes them fight each other and go to war. The Kens go into like this huge Marvel-style fight scene, but instead of real weapons, they're just using toys. But then they stop fighting after realizing that they were all just insecure about themselves. The fight scene was great, but there's like a part where like they're trying to make it seem like it's in slow motion by having everyone just move really slowly in real time. It made everything look like a little bit weird, but it was still funny. The Kens basically go through how they are enough and they don't need validation to just be Ken. It's very sweet. But oops, in the meantime, Barbie has taken back the Constitution and now they're back in power. Everything is going back to the way it was. But maybe that's not what she wanted. It's the final day and I thought I'd treat myself. I bought the nice seats with the recliners and the little tray. I bought myself popcorn and another drink. I got all comfy and then put my feet up, and then I had a realization. I knew word for word every single scene of the movie. In the movie, I was mouthing the words. It might have been the weirdest experience I've ever had because I've rewatched movies before. Hot Rod? That was my favorite movie as a kid. I watched that probably 20, 30 times, but I didn't rewatch it every single day. I took breaks. But it's all right because after today, I will never have to watch the movie again. I will never have to look at Ryan Gosling with bleach blonde hair ever again. Oh boy. So Barbie didn't want everything to go back to the way it was. She wants everyone to be equal, with nobody living in each other's shadows, and Barbie doesn't want to be Barbie anymore. She doesn't want to be an idea or a doll, she wants to be a human. She then ends up in this weird like liminal space with Ruth Handler, the inventor of Barbie. Ruth basically talks about how Barbie doesn't need her permission to be a human, because she doesn't control her. We then have a song playing as Barbie starts to feel. We see old VHS tapes of different young girls growing up into women, and I believe that this VHS footage was from the crew who actually worked on the movie, but I don't have the proof of that, I'm not 100% sure. But this part really fucked me up. Seeing old VHS tapes probably really tugged at the heartstrings of everybody who grew up with VHS. I grew up right on like the between area of VHS and CD, so the only time I ever see VHS is from when I was a baby or when I wasn't born and it was just my family or whatever. So I only ever see me as a baby and my older brother who was really happy to have a little brother. And now we just beat each other up and I make YouTube videos sometimes. I guess it just kind of makes everybody think about being a kid without having to worry about anything like being an adult. And the music just wraps it all up perfectly. You might have all heard the song already, but it's What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. And oh boy, I would have cried, but I don't really know how to. But I've basically just come to realize that men have been wanting to keep women down because they're afraid of being overpowered and their egos won't be able to handle it. But women don't want to be keeping men down, they just want to be equal and respected. But with men being so insecure and ego-driven, women just have to always be the caretaker, whether it's taking care of a child or taking care of their partner. I like doing the dishes sometimes. I like cleaning the house sometimes. Does that make me any less of a man? It shouldn't. Maybe my fiance doesn't want to make dinner. Maybe she just wants to get home from work and sit on the couch and tell me about her day. I think feminism has this major stigma about it because it is people thinking that it's about women being more powerful than men and wanting to like overpower them. But it's just about being vocal about women and men being equal. Maybe being a man and caring about equal rights between men and women doesn't make them a simp or a white knight or whatever. Maybe it makes them an Allen, and we just need more Allens. We need more Michael Ceras who are going to be vocal about what's wrong. Because a man won't listen to a woman who is talking about how they don't get treated equal, but they will listen to another guy talking about it, because as Ryan Gosling said, men rule the world. So maybe I am Michael Cera, and maybe you are too. Look at this guy, that's you, and that's me. If you are upset about the thought of equal rights between men and women, maybe you're a scared little baby boy, and that's okay. You can be a scared little baby boy, or you can accept the fact that men and women can be equal without the world just imploding on itself. Things change, and sometimes they change for the better. Anyway, I'm Michael Cera, and thank you for watching.